Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you. I get my days confused when you just trade every single day for a living. You kind of have a tendency of being like, what day is today again? Anyways, I know that's terrible because I know Monday through Friday you're supposed to pay attention to the market, but crypto has a tendency of being a full 24/7. Enough about that. Thanks again for joining me here. If you've been watching my channel for a while, comment below. Love to hear the feedback. Getting some cool heads up lately on folks that have been watching me for almost 2.5 years, like since I started back in 2021. So awesome, cool stuff. Thanks again so much for following me. What we're going to do is we're going to update some Fibonacci retracement levels. Keep in mind on the daily, the Fibonacci's, we want to make sure to update that when the daily candlestick closes. For right now, we'll just kind of put it up there at the top. It may not be at its top just yet, so we're going to keep that tentative. But no, you want to wait for the candlestick to close before you actually draw out some Fibonacci retracement levels. What I want to talk about too also is this previous resistance level at 2250. We broke through that pretty hard. I did mention previously we had one of two choices. The price is going to either shoot upwards like it has, or it's going to perform a cup and handle pattern, or possibly that second little handle down to this previous support. It could have done something like that, but it didn't. It didn't even bother to turn around. Just kept on going. So this is awesome news. Congrats to everyone who was taking some nice profits there. Speaking of congrats, take a look at this here. We got a nice little 25% from Ethereum and a nice little 17% from Bitcoin to offset that little loss from comp. Now again, if you are following folks that are trading 100%, I wouldn't trust them. You're going to take some losses. It's okay to do that. In fact, just to kind of be full disclosure, you can see this all plain as day. I've got 30 copy traders. I've made them a few $100s so far, but we've taken some losses, right? We took unfortunately, a full liquidation there. I stepped away from the computer for 30 minutes and the graph closed out, but everything else has been pretty good, right? Pretty darn good at the trading aspect there. So you can again follow me there if you'd like. Otherwise, obviously, be sure to utilize our Crypto Cash Trading Premium group as well. One last thing, BingX has an offer right now exclusive. This is good for KuCoin and BitGet/Bybit users who got hit with KYC. There's no VPN or KYC required for this exchange, and you get $50 for depositing and $100 for trading, essentially. Awesome stuff. Be sure to check it out. Thank you, BingX, for helping our community stay in the game, right? Nice to be able to have leverage as an option if you're in the US or Canada and a restricted country. That said, take a look at Solana. What we want to do is talk about the daily and kind of see here that we're effectively still up above 70. Okay, so we jumped up there essentially yesterday, still maintaining that. Keep in mind, you typically don't want to sell until the price comes back down below that level. I know that sounds crazy because right now you could be in profit, it could come down and effectively sell out, but the main thing here is that RSI, if the price just goes sideways, RSI will naturally fade down, and oftentimes when you're above 70, it'll come back down, it'll bounce. It's very common for the price to bounce off of 70 on the RSI now that we've broken through that resistance. We can see this obvious definitive resistance level that was broken, okay? And as I mentioned yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, ascending trends will continue until they don't, right? So we have to assume this trend will continue until it doesn't. So we're just going to draw this out here and continue to respect the trend, okay? Trend lines are your friend. In fact, you can kind of see this here with the 20-day SMA. It's a very common characteristic of aligning itself with ascending trend. So I would say above the 20-day SMA, and we're in pretty good shape, okay? So for right now, I wouldn't expect Solana to drop like a rock. Yes, there's great potential. You find some shorts here and there, but it does look like it's pretty strong, and we want to not, I wouldn't bet into it, okay? A lot of folks are getting liquidated with XRP, Matic, and again, Solana just trying to catch the top, and the top probably isn't in yet. I mean, as you can see here, this 4-hour candles, we've retested this level twice already. So let's talk about that, and let's see what's going on. Smaller time frames will identify that little double tap, but what we're looking at here is essentially a case in point where the price action is still above 70, stochastic still swinging upwards. There's no reason to take a trade into this. It hasn't lost its momentum yet, okay? We take a look at TD sequential, we can kind of see that we weren't really overextended going into it, so it doesn't make any sense to essentially trade into it right now. We can see it's also breaking through that little resistance. That's exactly why we wait on Fibonacci retracement levels to essentially wait for the daily candle to stick to close, because it is still running. That's awesome. So based on what we see here so far, there's literally no reason why the price will turn itself around immediately. Yes, it's overextended. We can identify that in smaller time frames, but on the 4-hour, it has plenty of room to run. Okay, so again, please be careful trading into this. If you're going to try to short, it's not really all that recommended today. Bitcoin is stronger than it has been in the past. It's upper retesting that 31,000 range. At this level here, a lot of coins are taken off. We got the XRP train, the Matic train, and now of course Solana. So just be mindful, okay? That's all I ask. I don't like to see you get wrecked. Too many people subscribe to my memberships because they've gotten hammered in the past and they want consistency. I get it. it's totally normal to want that. But you can have that yourself if you're a little more patient and you kind of wait for confirmation. And those are things that takes time to develop, but I do have private trading videos. Be sure to watch those if you're currently a member, and you may not know there are some good videos there on the homepage there. All right, again, what we're going to look at here is in the hourly. A big surprise, we're overextended, right? We know this. What we wanted to look at, though, of course, is a few other factors, right? So when we look at the hourly, we can see today's sequential. We were at a 9 prior to shooting into this. Okay, so in truth, we are already overextended before this even happened. Okay, so we're basically hitting that plateau. Should have turned around, and instead it shot up. Okay, so again, that being said, there's a possibility of the price pulling back down to that level to retest it and then leg up from there. That's a common characteristic. But this is a lot of volume in a short amount of time, and it's going to take some bleeding out before that happens. Okay, so I wouldn't expect to drop pretty hard and pretty fast, but it could very well happen. So be cautious and careful with this. But when it comes to the hourly, really we see nothing here that's letting us know that we want to short. Okay, everything is letting us know that we're in good shape here and that the price will probably continue. Okay, so please do not trade into it. If we take a look at the 15, we can see stochastic is still kind of topping out. And I teach this to my community and just in general, I like to reaffirm this in videos, where anytime you see stochastics, for example, the first time it diverges, specifically on the 15-minute, it's going to probably continue from there. Okay, so we saw the first divergence here, and it continued higher. It's the second or third one you want to kind of pay attention to, right? So if you see like a second or third here, for example, the price kind of plateaued and came down a little bit, that's what you want to look for. Okay, so we haven't reached that yet, so we don't really have any confirmation here at all. In fact, with our CC Golden indicator, it tells us to leave your long position open. So if you had my indicator, for example, you could have got in here right there at about 22 and been in the profit right now so far, roughly at about 14%. Again, it's good about catching the bottoms and selling the tops, right? So that's kind of what you want to try to do for the most part is buy low, sell high. I know that's an obvious, easy thing to say, but in this circumstance here, find ways to identify those low points and obviously to continue, holding on very carefully. So once more, if we take a look at this here, we can keep on extending this until the daily candlestick is closed. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and send out a potential playout chart. There's a good chance it'll be something along these lines here, where we see the price action pulling down to 0.382, 0.5, or 0.618. It's a really common characteristical retracement areas. My guess is that we'll see 0.382 as a possibility, but probably not, because we have so much momentum here, we'd have to lose this trend line to get there. I don't think that's a likelihood. I think that's less ideal. But again, those things could happen. Bitcoin drops sub 20, into 29, 28,000 range. You bet your butt that Solana is going to pull back at least a little bit. Okay. So again, if you're going to DCA, a decent DCA target would be 2250 now at this point. In fact, I'll go ahead and set an alert here for that level to ensure that we kind of just double check and see if it's a good time for entry at that point. But once again, if it comes back down to 2250, we're going to have lost this trend and we could be on the downtrend. You want to be careful just jumping in. So my recommendation is to add to your position there loosely, but do not by any stretch just continue to just jump in blindly because it's at a level that's desirable. There's a lot of other factors that come into play. Okay, that's why I like to kind of bring this voice of reason here and kind of let you know what's going on. But again, if you follow me on Twitter or Telegram, all those links are down below. I send out these updates consistently. Pretty awesome stuff here, of course. Be sure to help grow the community. Greatly appreciate it. Interact with us as well. And you can see some of the results also, too, that we have as a community. But bottom line, you can stay abreast on pretty important stuff here if you want to check that out. Again, available on Telegram, too. Link down below. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for joining me here. Like, subscribe, follow if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate your feedback. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.